And that's where a lot of home inspectors, I think, in my opinion, from what I've seen now, with having being a certified master inspector and having over 200 inspection or over 2,000 inspections under my belt, what I've found is there's a lot of very technical home inspectors and they do a great inspection,
Yeah.
but they can't transfer over into the
Uh,
explaining it in a non-alarmist tone to the client. And at the end of the day, the client wants to know, okay, what you called out, are those two to $3,000 worth of issues, or are those 40 or $50,000 worth of issues? Am I getting into something where I'm going to have to dump a bunch of money? And being able to explain that, because having family members that were general contractors and having worked on my own home and installed water heaters and roofing and done those kind of jobs, and then also the relationships I've built with other vendors in the trades, HVAC companies and pool companies.
Ooh.
And again, what I learned as a cop is I don't have to know it all. I just have to know where to find it or who
Amen.
to contact and be able to say, hey, here's what the problem is. How much is this going to cost somebody? Kind of ballpark idea. And again, that's how I explain it to the clients is, hey, this is what we've seen a range of. This is something between
Yeah.
500 and $1,000. It could be more, it could be less. It just
Right.
depends on the kind of contractor that you get for it.
Right.
And that's what we try to differentiate ourselves and explaining it to clients, because a lot
Yeah.
of home inspectors they don't get that. It's like there's certain electrical
Absolutely.
panels out there that they're like, oh my god, it's this brand and it's been known to cause fires. Yeah, if you go
Oh,
Google it, there's one or two instances on the internet that says this caused a fire. Well, early on in my career, I bought into that. But then as I looked into it and started talking to agents who'd been in the business a while, they're
yeah.
like, boy, that doesn't happen. So I deep dove
Okay.
into it and I changed up the narrative because it was scaring buyers. Because if you
Absolutely.
think of that, are you going to buy a house
No.
that the electrical panel you think is going to cause your family to be harmed by a fire? No. But then once I looked into it deeper, no, those panels, yeah, they're over 40 years old. We recommend upgrading the panel. They are working correctly, but let's get it upgraded because what happens is the metal contracts and expands in there and it wears out. So if you go to turn the breaker off, yeah, the
Yeah.
breaker may be off, but that electrical current may still be running through there because the panel is not operating at the optimum that it should be. So that's how we've kind of differentiated ourselves
Yeah.
here within our inspection industry.
I mean, for me at least, there aren't many more scary things than buying a house. Like,
Right.
right? Because, and it's like my husband and I had a couple of rental properties in that we bought in the year 2005. So I'm sure that you understand how that story ended, right?
Uh huh.
It ended in bankruptcy because we bought at the top of
Right.
the market and we were kids, so we didn't have anything to fall back on. But um ever since then, of course, and these were at the time they were 90 something year old homes where
Right.
everything and anything can go wrong. Yeah, I mean, your job is so integral. Yeah, I'm sure it helps the people that are selling don't want to find out that they have to pay $20,000 to fix something, otherwise there's a deal breaker, right?
Right.
Nobody
Yes.
wants to find that. But then the people that are moving in, I mean, you never spend more money at one time in your life as when you buy a house.
Yep.
And
It is
and
the most. It is the largest purchase that people make in their lifetime.
exactly, it's so important. And somebody that can give you guidance and show you the ropes, that's worth a premium. 100% that's worth a premium, right? Because
Well,
there's
and
the guys
that's
that just come out and then they give you the report and then they're gone. You're like, well,
yes,
but
exactly. And the one thing too is what a lot of people don't understand is with new builds is you
yeah,
as the client have a right to have a independent inspector working for you go and do that inspection. Now the building companies, and we're seeing this a lot more, these builders, they don't want a third party inspector
nope,
out there, and they will say that you need this type, you need $1 million insurance, we want your work comp number, we want you can only do it on days that end in S, and if the sky is blue that day, and they try to make things so difficult, or they'll say, oh, by the way, you can have our inspector come out. Well, the problem is you as the client are paying for a third opinion that
exactly,
I don't care if the builder what the builder says or does. I'm
right,
working for you as the client. You've got
exactly.
my interest, I've got your interest, in
Yeah,
heart on what happens, not
that's right.
not the other way around where they have their own inspector. Well, yeah, and then the problem too is they want to close that deal because that's the only time that they get their
Right.
funding done, that they get that done. So once they get that money, they can move on to the next one. So they do just enough to get the
Yes.
house built, and then oh, we'll take care of that later. Well, some of the horror
Mhm.
stories on these clients I've worked
Yes.
with, we'll go back and do an 11-month warranty, and I just had one last week. She was like, I've submitted 35 emails on requests for different things this last year. She goes, I wish we never would have bought a new home because it's been such a pain in the ass to deal with. And so those are the things that, yeah, great, you got a new house, but
Yeah.
again, when we went through the pandemic and stuff,
Yes.
you couldn't get subcontractors. The
Yeah.
workmanship or craftsmanship was poor. And so again, you get a builder, but just because you have a builder doesn't mean that the subcontractor is their quality control is what it is.
Ooh, that is so scary. I've never bought a brand new house, never had anything built, but I did move into a 16-year-old home, which had its own set of challenges, right?
Right.
Because everything that was still original was at the end of its useful life. And
Exactly.
so
Air
that was
conditioners, furnaces, water heater.
two, two, two air conditioners, two
Ah, yes.
furnaces, two water heat. And so, yeah, but you know what we did, which I wish I would have known about this a long time ago. We had them throw in a home warranty, a 2-year home
Yes.
warranty. Um, and we've been here, I think we've been in this house for, oh wow, like 8 years, and we've never let it lapse. And it has saved us so much money.
Yes.
Everything has gone. They've had to replace dishwasher, both air conditioning units, a furnace. I'm sure the other furnace is coming along soon.
Right.
Just imagine like how much does one furnace cost to replace?
Well,
I don't
HVAC
even
systems
know.
out here about 15,000. That's for one.
Exactly.
That's for a
Right.
furnace and an air conditioning system. You're looking at about 15 grand right now.
Yeah. So I that would be like 30 grand then for all
Yeah.
four of the. Yeah, no, they just gave us the refrigerator was crapping out, so they gave us like a $900 gift card to Lowe's or something, but it was $900 that I didn't have to spend because I keep
Exactly.
up with my premiums, and I don't know if people even know about those because I want to say this is like our fifth house that we bought or something. It was the first time we ever did it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I said, it depends on the company. Again, just like every other profession, there's good companies and bad companies.
yeah, that's
And the
true.
biggest thing is you can submit requests and they don't get returned. There's other companies out there that they're Johnny on the spot and they get things knocked out and they take care of it. So having seen as many homes and seen as many deals as I have, the
Yeah,
one caveat to that is do your research on the home warranty companies in your area. And again, ask real estate agents, ask, just don't go to Google and say, "Oh, they got 5-star reviews and this, that, and the other."
right.
Ask people that have used them. Get personal references, or find out from people that have worked with them,
Yeah,
and stuff from there. That's going to be the biggest benefit you're going to see because if you have to deal with a home warranty company, again, they're going to say they're going to be there on Tuesday between noon
right,
and 4, and then you
right.
take off work to be there, and then they no show. I hear that all the time, and then they do that
That
two or
has
three
happened.
times. Yeah, and then they
Yeah,
do that 2 or
yeah,
3 times, and
yeah.
you're like, "I'm taking days off, and you guys can't even get here when you say you will." Or they come out and they don't have the parts, they'll come out, look at it, and then they try to upsell because
Yeah.
the companies that are doing the warranty work are companies that aren't that busy,
Mhm.
or they're a new startup and they're looking for work, and so they're gonna upcharge you to, "Oh, you need this, this, and this replaced," because the more numbers they can add to that ticket, then they're gonna make more money. So again, it is a game, and you
That's
gotta
true.
be fairly cognizant about what's going on with it.
That's true. And the other thing that I'll say also is that make sure you read the fine print and you understand what you're
Yes,
actually paying for. Because, like
yes,
for instance, we had a problem with our shower. They were willing to fix the plumbing in the shower, but we had to pay somebody to put the drywall back in, right?
yep,
Like both on the ceiling below and then we had to pay somebody to do the, tile and right. So there are riders for that type of thing, like, if you wanna
yes,
spend that kind of money, but yeah, just, don't think that they're gonna come in and rip your place apart and put it together, and you're gonna get away with a $100 deductible because that's not always true,
yeah,
but
no, exactly.
yeah. So what else? What else do you want to tell the folks?
The entrepreneur life.
Yes, tell
A
them,
lot of people
please.
a lot of people don't understand, like right now. So this is the March 2024, and this is my busy season. There's a lot of 16, 18 hour days. If you have a spouse or if you're getting involved in a relationship,
Mm,
make sure that they understand what the entrepreneur life is, because somebody who is an employee and works 40 hours a week and has a guaranteed paycheck every week, entrepreneurs who are business owners, they don't have 40-hour work weeks. Like I said, this whole month here, I've been working anywhere between 16, 18-hour days, and I'm working 7 days a week. And yes, it's a busy time of the year, and you getting involved with somebody who is an entrepreneur or who owns a business, you have to have some grace and understand that they're going to come home pissed off. They start at zero at the beginning of every month. They may get to eat a steak that month, or they may
yeah,
be eating top ramen.
that's
And
right.
again, as they build their business, they're going to do it. But if you're in it for the long haul, you're going to see that, and they're going to need a person to rely on, and a person in their corner. They don't want to come home to somebody nagging and having to do a bunch of stuff when they've had to deal with what they've had to deal with. And a lot of people do not understand the
Yeah,
entrepreneurial lifestyle of that. And again, there's a big gap there, but
yeah,
it's a lot easier when you're making your money 40 hours a week and you have that
yeah,
guaranteed
it is.
paycheck.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do, where yeah, we don't necessarily have it.
Yeah, I had an interesting situation because that is, by the way, I just want to tell you like what an amazing point that you just made because my husband and I met while working at a company, and I've always done like little things on the side. Like I'm a busy beaver. It's probably like ADHD